Today on Moviewallas, we talk about Gladiator 2 and A Real Pain. It's time for Moviewallas. Hi, this is Joe.
Hi, it's Rashmi.
And Yazdi as well.
Moviewallas is your weekly dose of film reviews, movie news, and general banter in theatres, on DVD, online streaming, or in the back of an airplane. If you love the movies, this show is for you. Hello, hello.
Hello.
Happy
Greetings.
Friday.
Happy Friday.
Yes, we're recording on a Friday evening. The world of work is in the rearview mirror.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it'll zoom around quickly enough.
Don't be
And be
depressed.
back in front of us. Yes.
So we got a couple of podcasts we're recording today, so we'll get through quite a lot of material, which you'll hear us as rather being hurried.
Yes.
But that's because we have dinner afterwards.
Yes.
Which clearly is more important than recording a podcast.
And then Rashmi and I are going to be away for a while. So
Yes.
we have to kind of
Hustle.
push through. So,
Yes.
but despite that, we did think we could jump into our podcast with
No banter today. No banter.
with a
Just
Netflix pick.
all
Well,
business.
Yeah, I did want to talk about Freevee cancellation.
Next
Freevee
up.
is gone. Freevee is going.
Is it?
Yeah, Freevee is going.
From us or generally?
No, they're
It's gone.
shutting it down
Why?
because
It didn't work.
No, they're pushing everyone into Prime.
Okay. Hence your hatred, hatred for Prime.
Well, I'm still on my Amazon boycott. We've only used free Prime.
Well, my movie recommendation for today is from Amazon Prime.
Before
I
it
can't
goes
find
away.
anything to watch on video on demand. Go ahead,
Okay.
Yazdi. Why don't we get into business?
I will.
Wait to usher me along.
Okay.
Go.
Should I go?
Yes,
So
yes.
my recommendation for a movie you should watch at home on video without any distraction is probably going to be my number one movie for 2025. I love this
Whoa.
movie so much. It's the film Challengers, which is on Amazon Prime. And if you haven't watched this, what are you doing?
That's
what are you doing?
fantastic.
It's got Zendaya, it's got Mike Feist, it's got Josh O'Connor, it's directed by Luca Guadagnino, and it uses tennis as a metaphor for sex.
It's very good.
It's so good. It goes back and forth in time. It's about two guys and one girl, love triangle set in the world of professional tennis over 20 or so years. It's brilliant. It's smart. It's unexpected. It's unpredictable. It's horny. It's stylish.
It's the sexiest tennis game ever.
Yes.
Yes.
So you have to watch Challengers.
Yeah, I agree. And just because we're at that time of year, do you think this is anyone's going to nominate anything from this movie? We
Yazdi
watched it
will.
like
I
Yazdi
will.
will, yeah. But
I
do you think it's going to get any award love?
I think it'll assuredly be nominated for Best Score from
Sure.
Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross. I hope it gets nominated for acting, but who knows?
Yeah.
Guadagnino is coming out with a new Daniel Craig
That's
movie.
right.
A second movie released this year. So
Called Queer, I
called
think.
Queer, yeah.
Yeah.
So that may eat up all the oxygen in the room come end of
and
award
clearly the
season.
one he was probably more in love with for Oscar love because it's coming out soon. So who knows?
Yes.
Okay, my pick is a delightful movie that made me sob. It's called Kubo and the Two Strings. It's a divine little Japanese animation, and it will just melt you away. It's on Netflix. Love
It's
this
lovely.
movie so much.
It's
Beautiful.
a thing of beauty, that movie.
And it's a great story
I
as
didn't
well.
connect with it like you guys did, but I didn't see it on the big screen either.
Yeah.
But what a picture painter.
Stunning picture.
You can't
great
go wrong
story.
with Kubo. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just assured good time.
Yeah.
All right. And I'm going to jump in with kind of a crowd pleaser of a thing. Thanksgiving is coming up. It's family time. What can you watch with the kids? What can you watch with the younger viewers? What can you watch with grandma, mum, dad, everybody? What you can watch if you have Netflix is Enola Holmes. And in fact, Enola Holmes 1 and Enola Holmes 2 are both available on Netflix. These are Sherlock Holmes spin-off type detective dramas. They are aimed a little tween, right?
Yeah.
They're not for kids. They're not for adults. They're kind of right on
They're
that kind
fun.
of family,
I think you said it.
family-friendly fun thing. But they star the delightful Millie Bobby Brown. Her name is actually really fun to say, and they are just just a slice of very enjoyable family mystery. The jokes work, the action works. The second movie actually reviewed better than the first, although I must say I didn't like it quite as much. So, Enola Holmes 1 and 2 on Netflix. You won't go wrong.
Yeah.
And isn't Henry Cavill in it?
And
Yes,
sorry, oh my God. Yeah,
briefly.
absolutely, he is. Yes, indeed, as Sherlock Holmes. Okay, so round up. Yazdi, your pick was
Challengers. Watch it on Amazon Prime.
And then if you want to feel clean afterwards, watch
Take a shower.
watch Kubo and the Two Strings on Netflix.
And my Netflix picks are Enola Holmes 1 and Enola Holmes 2. All right, time for business. Boy, that was efficient. 6 minutes in, we're talking about the movie already.
Let's go.
What's happening to us? Okay, Gladiator 2 and A Real Pain are our movies this week. We are going to tackle them in that order. And Yazdi, I would love it if you could give us the background on Gladiator 2.
Yeah, so this little unknown British director called Ridley Scott directed a movie in 2000 called Gladiator, and that movie came out of nowhere. It had a very young unknown Russell Crowe. It made Oscar winners out of a whole bunch of them. It did exceptionally well at year-end awards. It was a giant commercial hit, and it had that combination of deep emotional resonance along with amazingly well-crafted action set pieces set during the Roman gladiator period. Now, almost 25 years later, Ridley Scott returns for Gladiator 2, very creatively titled Gladiator 2, and not in the Colosseum again or something. But essentially, this one is about another gladiator several years after the original title character. And the one-liner is, after his home is conquered by the tyrannical emperors who now lead Rome, Lucius is forced to enter the Colosseum and must look to his past to find strength to return the glory of Rome to its people. The writing credits are David Scarpa, Peter Craig, and David Franzoni. And we have, for the new sequel, we have a new set of stars. Paul Mescal, he of little British movies up until now.
Oh, goodness, yeah. The movie we loved last year, After Sun.
After Sun, All of Us Strangers, so many movies. So he plays the title Gladiator in the sequel, and he's joined by Connie Nelson from the original Gladiator. And she might be the only one from the original Gladiator, because this time around Pedro Pascal is here, as is Denzel Washington. And then the two emperors are played by Joseph Quinn and Fred Heschinger. Joseph Quinn, if you might remember, he's the guy who was in the new...
Use your words.
Silent movie. You can't hear anything. You can't say anything.
I was going to say, The Artist.
No.
Speak No Evil.
No, with Lupita Nyong'o. The one
A Quiet Place, the beginning.
A Quiet Place, Origin.
Yes.
So he was the guy.
Day one.
A Quiet Place,
that was him. I didn't recognize him.
Yeah, he was the dude from that. So anyway, here is Gladiator 2. It comes with the weight of a quarter century of expectations. Does the sequel live up to it?
Go, Joe.
So I have to start with a disclaimer, which is Gladiator is probably one of my top 10 movies of all time. It has its faults. It's kind of an over dramatic opera, but I love the hell out of the original Gladiator. It did battle scenes, and it did the Colosseum, and people criticized the Colosseum for the way it looked in that movie, but I did not. The movie worked for me. So first of all, I have to say I am extraordinarily biased when it comes to this franchise, which also is a double-edged sword, right? Pun intended.
Yeah.
And they always say, this is one of my cliches, and if you listen to Moviewallas for a while, you've heard me say this 1,000 times, but a sequel has to be twice as good to be received half as well. And this was not that. This was not twice as good as the original. In fact, I don't know why this sequel was even made at all. This isn't a story that has to be told. It is an extension. And I think, honestly, it was kind of disappointing. It plays its kind of narrative card so almost hilariously obviously. I mean, we all attended the same screening where there's like an insert scene where somebody kind of pokes from behind a doorway to overhear a conversation, and somebody in the crowd was like, snitch. I mean, it's a very clunky narrative. That said, it is fun, it is action, it's a Friday night movie, it'll do okay, but I can't say that I have the same love for this, anything like the same love for this as I did the first.
I love the pants off this one, but I love the tunic off this one.
Is that right?
Yes.
Excellent.
I think
Okay.
it was very enjoyable. I agree with everything you've said, though. It's not twice as good. I don't think it needed to be made, but I'm glad they did make it because I think Paul Mescal is a great gladiator. I love seeing Connie, what's her name?
Nielsen.
Connie Nielsen again. I think Pedro Pascal is a great addition to the story. Denzel is great as well. So it's a fun time at the movies. It's more of the same. I just have a few quips like, why do the baddies always have to look really weird? Right, they always have to look very strange. They do invoke the Joaquin Phoenix character to me. There's a lot of throwbacks to the old one. But ultimately, this turns into Who's My Daddy-ator? It's really a paternity movie, I think, disguised, as a gladiator movie. But it's really Who's My Daddy-ator?
And the CGI is freaking terrible. It's so bad.
But it's fine. It's fun.
No, it's awful.
It's a very linear
Sharks
story. There's
sharks
very
in the
little.
Colosseum.
Yeah, I know. There's very few twists and turns.
I looked it up. They did actually try and put sharks in the Colosseum once. No, they did. They flooded it once and they did it, but not like this. This was like Jaws in the Colosseum.
Yeah, it was.
And they put like little islands in there. And
Yeah.
it was like
It's not
didn't
that
happen.
big.
That
The
didn't
Colosseum,
happen.
we've been
But
there.
They did
It's not
flood
that
it and
big.
they did put sharks.
No, I know. Yeah.
Really?
But yeah. Anyway,
How did they get
they
the
did
sharks
all
in the
sorts
desert?
of. Yeah, they did all
it's
sorts
a
of
historical
stuff.
fact. It was on Wikipedia, therefore
Yeah.
it must be true.
Okay, Yazdi, what do you think?
It's a 6 out of 10 for me. I'm just going to say it. I know there's no reason for it to exist, and I'm like you. I'm happy it exists.
Yeah.
I think those people who have been waiting for a long time, who have been thirsty for this, they will get the spectacle. I think this movie really kind of lives and dies by the spectacle. The action scenes are ridiculously, tuned up to the point where they are absurd. Like there are these CGI looking monkeys. They don't even
baboons.
look like monkeys. They look like some
Monster, prehistoric.
not even some futuristic like alien monster
that's-
thing.
yeah.
Like alien monkeys.
Alien monster.
Space monkeys.
Yeah.
But I think my biggest problem with the movie, and again, everybody should go see it. You will get your money's worth.
Yeah.
It's the kind of classical spectacle that Hollywood used to make regularly, like the Ben-Hurs and the Ten Commandments. And this is kind of in the same vein. So you will get your money's worth. But for me, what was weird is that the movie felt to me simultaneously too long and rushed. So it's 2.5 hours long and nothing much happens.
I understand what you're saying, yeah.
And then suddenly in the last half hour, everything is ramped up, right? So he's kind of avoiding the main. I'm not giving anything away. The main character is avoiding his legacy, where he's come from, who his family might be. He's avoiding it. And then suddenly one day he's like, oh, this is who I am, and I'm my father's son, and I'm going to go for battle. What happened?
Yeah, strength and honor. Yeah.
And then Denzel Washington is all slime and subterfuge.
Yeah.
And then on a dime, he just becomes plain evil. So it's just, anyway, there was some weird pacing issues there.
Yeah.
Also,
It was an ambitious script.
I think the build-up takes too long.
The build-up does take too long.
Act 1 and a bit of half of Act 2 just take way too long, and then we rush through 2 and 3. That's why you feel it, Yazdi, because it's long. I wonder if this is actually going to be a 3-hour film and they cut it down.
Yeah. And the other thing also is that I can understand their struggle with the script, because you want the sequel to do something amazing and unusual and kind of veer away from the path. But at the same time, you're investing $1 kajillion in it. And they're like, no way, you got to stick with what people have come to see. So essentially, Gladiator 2 is a repeat of Gladiator 1.
Totally.
I mean, totally. Like almost like beat for beat emotionally.
Yeah.
So you kind of are stuck in this kind of having to do the same story again with bigger sets and weirder things and so
stranger.
forth.
I mean, as absurd as it sounds, there was a grounded feel to the original Gladiator, which made me really believe in the character of Maximus. What I didn't care for here was the soap opera-ness of it, with the Who's Your Daddy-ator is hilarious, Rashmi, but like the kind of, of of all the people to end up in a slave carriage in Rome, it would be, the person that it is linked to the original movie. And so all of those kind of, moments just were cringy to me, because I just thought I may have bought it if it was like a narrative series that was a little more playful, but the original Gladiator felt to me like yes, it's not a historically accurate telling of what happened in Rome, but it felt historically accurate.
Yeah.
It had that Braveheart feel to it, that kind of, this is how it happened.
I think the original...
In this one, I never felt this is how it happened.
Yeah, and I think the original had an angle around, like, the politics of Rome, right?
This was more...
This was not as smart in its delivery of, like, the politics of Rome. It was great at capturing corruption, and I thought that it was a kind of, interesting take, and you could relate it to what's happening today, in today's times, about the population and the power of the people and how the government works to suppress or oppress. That was interesting. I wish they'd pulled on that thread a little bit more. But, I had total fun.
Okay.
To me, this was super fun.
Score it.
Come on.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I was going to say one more thing. The best thing about this movie is a Denzel Washington character.
Yeah.
And yes, you say he kind of flips towards the end. Sure. But I think he's the most interesting character in the entire thing.
Yeah.
Everyone else feels a little flat. He's the most interesting. And I'm going to say this because I really think that, Denzel needs to be... He kind of outperforms the lines he was given here. He kind of elevates his script to a point where everyone else kind of struggled with that, and they're all fine actors. Like Paul Mescal, oh my God, what a great actor! But I think he struggled with the material. There was a piece of me which was like, he doesn't quite. He's trying to be almost tongue in cheek.
Well, and
he did because he's made to give a speech at the end that is completely unearned. At one point, he has to recite poetry, which I could feel his discomfort.
Yes.
I would be very discomforted if I had to do that.
I couldn't shake that. He's like, he's not in this character.
And I think also, look, he's an Irish boy, right? We've never seen him do action like this, and he's had to bulk up. I mean,
physically,
he's really risen to the challenge, and I wonder if all his brain is in his muscles at the moment.
He did not skip leg day.
He did not skip leg day at all. Yeah.
He'll probably end up doing the Russell Crowe thing and like paying a £300 guy in his next movie or something, because he was
okay. Score, Joe, and then
okay, I'm being rushed along.
Yes,
hurry along. Okay, I'm going to give it a very unobjective 8 out of 10. I really did enjoy this. No, come on. Like, you're looking at me like I'm crazy.
Well, because like that makes no sense. But anyway, go on.
Because it was fun. It was fun. I enjoyed it, but it was unobjective. And the reason I give it a lot of slack is that I do like this universe. You do love Gladiator, and I like this franchise, and I like the Hans Zimmer score, which was Harry Gregson Williams here, who didn't do a very good job, I think, of invoking
other than when he used Hans Zimmer's music. Yazdi.
Yeah, I mean, I told
you said it
5 minutes ago, 6 out of 10. The only other thing I wanted to mention is maybe I need to go back and watch the original Gladiator, but it kind of seems to have fallen into the John Wick sequel phenomenon where every movie is absurdly more violent than the other.
Yeah.
I don't remember this amount of beheadings and dismemberments and just the gushing of red fluids. I mean, I'm like, if you're playing to the galleys, why is this movie so violent? It's just... so violent.
I think maybe it's faded away in the time.
It was pretty brutal.
And
there were some big battle
it about
scenes
a year
too.
ago, and the original it starts with a war.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. There's a big battle
in the war. My goodness, that was.
To give credit where it's due, it delivers the spectacle in a way that we don't see much of today. So if you want to watch a big epic on a big screen with loud thundering noise,
And
6
out of 10.
So
one final observation.
Yes.
Not one of us mentioned Pedro Pascal.
Oh, I liked him.
I know.
We did.
But, I mean, considering the role that he had here, he was struggling to find a place. That character was almost extraneous.
Yeah.
Which is too bad, because you waste an actor like Pedro Pascal in a role that I feel is underdeveloped. Just a bit of a shame.
Yeah, I think the story's underdeveloped. That's the problem.
Yeah.
So for the ones that actually liked it, Yazdi gave it a 6. I'm going to give it a 7, and Joe gave it the highest score, starting his review with this one.
This is not a good
This is
one.
not a good movie. But anyway, that's how that's how Moviewalla reviews go.
I make up my scores, you know.
Yeah, you make them up as you go along. So mine is a 7.
But the original is an 11 for me. So
Okay,
that's where
there you go.
That's
Fair
where my
enough.
calibration's off. And
Okay.
I did say that. Okay, leave me alone.
Okay.
Movie 2 of the week then is A Real Pain. And
Okay, so
think,
I
Rashmi,
have been. I thought you were talking about yourself then.
She is on fire today. Gladiator? My goodness.
So I've been dying to watch this one, and unfortunately we couldn't make the screening. Yazdi, you saw this one. This is A Real Pain. This is Jesse Eisenberg's directorial debut. So remember in one of the recent podcasts we had Anna Kendrick doing her directorial debut. This is Jesse Eisenberg, directed and written by, starring, including with Kieran Culkin, mismatched cousins reunite for a tour through Poland to honor their beloved grandmother. The adventure takes a turn when the odd couple's old tensions resurface against the backdrop of their family history. So Yazdi, is this a rush out and see? Please tell me it's good.
It's good. It's very good. I appreciated this movie for the one thing that so few movies do, which is that it does not overdo it. A lot of people felt like it's a very short movie. It's like 90 minutes, I think. It's 90 minutes. And a lot of people, after the movie ended, they were like, I thought there would be another half an hour of this film, and it just ended really quickly. And I think maybe that speaks to,
Had it told its story, though?
What a breeze! Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
What a breeze it is. But I think, as a writer and director, Jesse Eisenberg, most auspicious debut. I love the film, but I think he wants it to be very judicious with the emotionality, so he doesn't hammer on the heavy emotional beats. And he lets the story kind of breathe on its own. So, there's no big epiphanies. There's no people screaming. Everything happens and it kind of leads to a very satisfying kind of end. I like that it's very warm and it's very open. It's completely devoid of cliche. Jesse Eisenberg and Kieran Culkin are both marvelous in it. I think Kieran Culkin in particular has to play a very difficult role. Probably, yeah. I mean, he's probably one of the better. I haven't seen Succession, so I don't know him that well. But
I was just going to say that.
He's a revelation here. He's really very, very good here. His role is very, very difficult. And I think more than anything else, shockingly for me, this movie is a wonderful travelogue for Poland. I mean, I wanted to rush out and book a ticket to Poland after I saw this.
Where Joe was born.
Because the whole movie is about these two cousins going on a tour to Poland. And the entire movie kind of follows. So the whole basis, I'm not giving anything away, the whole basis for the movie is these two guys land up in Poland where they meet 6 other people who are on a tour, and they tour around Poland. That's it. That's the whole movie. And then you kind of find out about the other people who are on the tour with them, and they kind of play off of each other, and there are revelations and so forth. Interestingly, the San Diego Asian Film Festival is going on right now, and there's a movie with an identical plot. It's called Bule Bule, and it's about a group of Korean tourists who land up in Turkey, and it's about the 7 tourists as they're going around Turkey. But anyway,
it makes for interesting stories, right? A group of people traveling together, as we have discovered ourselves.
Yes, they're thrown together and they're quick to judge, and they don't know each other. Not that we were, yeah. So I think it's a lovely film. It's a lot more delicate than I thought it would be. I thought this movie would devastate me and clench my heart and make me cry. It didn't, but I'm happy it did not do that, because it's far more authentic and far more well-meaning than to be nakedly manipulative.
Good.
And I appreciate it for that.
Okay, lovely. Score?
8 out of 10. There's nobody I would not recommend it to. And it's such an auspicious debut for Jesse Eisenberg. He's been around for so long. By the way, Jesse Eisenberg is aging really well. I mean, he looks really well in his current aged form, since, I'm thinking back to when he was in the Facebook movie.
Yeah.
And
he was acting even before then.
Yeah, he was acting way
Let's
before
remember,
then.
he's been a child actor.
He's been, and he's always playing that nebbishy, geeky, awkward, slightly bow-legged guy, right? That's Jesse Eisenberg.
Yeah.
But here, that character has been written with a lot of kindness, a lot of nuance to it as well. So yeah, I think we need to treasure these kinds of movies and hold them close to our heart because they don't come by. They're not looking to, to manipulate you, and I like that.
And I love Kieran Culkin. I mean, from what I can tell just from the trailer, the chemistry between Jesse Eisenberg and Kieran Culkin looks amazing. And Kieran Culkin, for all of you who haven't seen Succession, rush out and watch Succession. Kieran Culkin steals the show, and he's been, lauded. Yeah. He's got many awards for his performances in that show. So I'm a Kieran Culkin fan.
I'm going to throw this in there just because we've got time. Jesse Eisenberg is 41.
Yeah.
I would have thought he was at least 10 years younger.
He just did that show on Hulu. Is it on Hulu with
so
Claire Danes?
He plays so young to me.
Yeah, he plays older in that. He plays a father and Claire Danes' husband in it. And initially I thought, that's a bit young compared to Claire Danes. But he held his own in that show. What was that show
he
called?
He looks 41. Yeah, I can't remember.
Like Mindfuck or something. Yeah, something like that. I can't remember what it is.
Yeah, I'll look it up in just a second.
Yeah, I'll look it up too.
I was also surprised that how they managed to get access to some of the touristy places that they were going through, because there's a part where they go through like a Holocaust museum, and there's a part, I'm like, how did they ever give them permission to shoot here? Because now, why would I go there? Because I've already seen it in the movie. Or maybe the movie will create more excitement for more tourists to come and see it. I don't know. Either way, it really does Poland a service.
Very good.
Remember we saw Jesse Eisenberg first in The Squid and the Whale. That was like in 2005, 20 years ago.
Wow.
It's Fleischman is in Trouble is the show I'm thinking of. Really good show.
Yeah. There is a character in the movie, an older female character in the movie who looked really familiar to me, and I was like, why does she look so familiar? And I could not place her. And then when the credits came on, it was Jennifer Grey from Dirty Dancing.
Oh yeah, but she had her nose done and lost. Right. Remember we spoke about this?
Right.
She was famous for her nose in Dirty Dancing,
right.
And then she had her nose done, and then no one recognized her, and then her career failed.
But anyway, she's really nice here. I mean, I'm glad that she's doing like character stories, so character roles. Yeah. So,
all right. You can find Moviewallas on all good podcast systems: Spotify, Apple Music, wherever else you get your podcasts. We are also on YouTube. We are on Facebook. Please join our community, because it's been a while, I think, since we had an uptick in subscribers. So if you're not part of our Facebook community, go to facebook.com/Moviewallas. We tell you when our podcasts get put out, and in award seasons we kind of tweet things along there as well. So thank you for watching, thank you for persevering, thank you for listening, and until our next podcast, it is Too Many Movies, Too Little Time. A goodbye from me.
And me.
And me as well.